Hello and welcome to Precon Decon, the video series where I deconstruct the pre-constructed decks of Magic the Gathering's history. In this video we're going to keep looking at Magic Origins, and we're going to move on and look at Take to the Sky, which is a white-blue deck, so we can probably guess what the theme of it is with a name like that. Let's take a look at the deck list. So we've got 22 creatures, 5 instants, 6 enchantments, 2 sorceries, 25 land, mana curve off to the side there. Let's get on with it. So the foil face rare is AlHamareth, the High Arbiter. So 5 and double blue for a 5/5 flyer. So I mentioned in the last video, like all these Magic Origins intro decks, their foil face rare is a character who was important to in a Planeswalker's backstory. So AlHamareth was Jace's original tutor and kind of taught him all his like telepathy and illusion magic, and then he became a planeswalker. And I don't know. we're not a lore video here. We're here to just look at cards and how good they are when you play them on the kitchen table. So 7 mana. For a 5/5 flyer, fine. As AlHamareth High Arbiter enters the battlefield, each opponent reveals their hand. You choose the name of a non-land card revealed this way. Your opponents can't cast spells with the chosen name as long as this creature is on the battlefield. Yes. So I don't know how I feel about this ability. Like, obviously he's super expensive, right? He's 7 mana to come down, and then opponent reveals hand, and yeah, you might say like, okay, sure, that you can't play that. But I feel like if this coming down turn 7, I don't know. Like, the chances are, I would say turn 7 opponents maybe got, I'd say on average, what, like 2 to 4 cards in hand, maybe, like, assuming you're kind of like drawing one, playing like 2 every turn. They might not have that many cards in hand. You might not have like a huge selection to choose from. Yeah, I don't know. Like, I always find these effects like quite fiddly. And I always think about like, oh, what about when they reveal a hand and they've got like just like nothing good. Like, you'd feel like, oh, I've kind of wasted the ability. I've overpaid for my 5/5 flyer. I don't know. I think it's, I don't know. I don't get effects like this. Like, they don't appeal to me. I know they are useful, but I think they're more useful on much cheaper bodies. Like the classic, I think, is what, Meddling Mage, where it just comes in and you name any card. You don't like have to. Well, at least this reveals a hand, so at least you can see something and know whether you're naming the right thing. But yeah, I'm not like, I don't get super excited by this effect personally. I know it has its uses, but I say mostly that use comes at either when you're really when you know a certain meta, and like when it's on a cheaper body. So I guess things like I say Meddling Mage is the one that stands out, and there's another one which I can't think of. It's probably like an artifact or something. But yeah, I guess is okay. It's still a 5/5 flyer, so whatever. The other rare that I like a lot more is Soulblade Djinn, so 3 in double blue for a 4/3 flyer, and basically gives all your creatures prowess. Whenever you cast a non-creature spell, all your creatures get +1/+1 till end of turn. So that's a lot more straightforward. That's a lot more flashy and effective. I like Soulblade Djinn a lot more than AlHamareth as one of the rares in this deck. So yeah, giving a board wipe boost when you do a non-creature spell. It's pretty good. You're paying white-blue, so you're going to have a good number of those anyway, because it's kind of like the usual soft control options. So yeah, that's good. And then 2 Thunderclap Wyvern, 2 a white and a blue for a 2/3 with flash and flying. Other creatures you control get with flying get +1/+1. So the next in like a long line of these kind of uncommon white-blue creatures that give your other creatures flying like some ability. Because there's about, I would say, like 4 variations of like this kind of card like throughout the years. Like stuff like, oh, I want to say like Cloud Chaser Eagle, something like that. I don't know. But yeah, there's a lot of, it's very core set design, a white-blue uncommon creature, say about this mana cost, that gives your creature flying like some bonus. So yeah, it's fine though, because obviously you're playing white-blue skies. That is the white-blue archetype. You got a lot of creatures flying in this deck, so this being an anthem effect for those is obviously pretty good. So nice, there's 2 of these as well. Single Aven Battle Priest, 5 and a white for a 3/3 flying. When it enters the battlefield, you gain 3 life. I feel this is super expensive, but then I look at it and it's like, it's just Angel of Mercy, isn't it? Like, but for like one extra like generic over like the over the extra white mana. So yeah, it works out that way. Still feels kind of underwhelming, honestly. Like, it's just a 3/3 flyer with just 3 life, but like 3/3 flyer is still okay, I suppose. It's fine, just kind of not exciting. And then 2 charging griffin, 3 and a white for a 2/2 with flying. Whenever it attacks, gets +1/+1 turn. I think I've said this exactly before. Like, I don't know, just make it a 3/3. You know, like don't like white can have a 3/3 flyer for 4 mana. It's fine. Like you don't have to tack on the extra like attack trigger. It's fine. I'm okay with attack triggers, but only like good ones. So if it was like, oh, it gets first strike when it attacks, then stuff like that I'd be fine with. But I don't know. 2 Towergeist, 3 in a blue for a 2/2 flyer. When it ends the battlefield, you look at the top 2 cards of your library, 1 into hand and the other into your graveyard. That's okay, I suppose. Like look at 2 and then draw 1. That's fine. Yeah. And then 3 Fairy Miscreant, 1 blue mana for a 1/1 with flyer. When it ends the battlefield, if you control another creature named Fairy Miscreant, you draw a card. So this is the blue collect 'em all creature. So yeah, this is okay. You know, it's a cheap flyer that comes down, and yeah, you could potentially get a card draw out of it, which for like 1 blue mana is obviously pretty good. It'd be nice to like drop one of these turn 1 and then turn 2 do like another one. That'd be alright. That'd be an okay play, I suppose. But then that is kind of it for flying creatures, which feels weird. And now we kind of take this weird lurch into like, I don't know, just not as good creatures, honestly. So we've got 2 watercourses, 2 and a blue for 2/3. Has like this standard like blue ability, like the blue flowstone ability, where you can increase its power but reduce its toughness to end turn. Fine, I suppose. So it can go up to what 4/1. Without dying, I suppose. Okay. 2 Nivix barriers, 3 in a blue for a 0/4 with flash and defender. When it enters the battlefield, target attacking creature gets -4, -0 and 10. So this is okay. You know, it kind of like could nullify 2 attacking creatures, right? Because it blocks 1 and shrinks another one. That's okay. Is it worth 4 mana? Like maybe. I don't know. If it had flying, I think that'd be really good then, because it'd be a really excellent blocker. But it's fine. It's probably fine again. It's common. What do we want? 2 Sigiled Starfish. This is a really nice reprint from Theros block. So 1 in the blue for a 0/3, you tap and scry 1, which is like, you know, honestly just like a pretty solid ability. I like it. And then 2 Totem Guide Heartabeast, so 4 and a white for a 2/5. When it enters the battlefield, you may search your library for an aura card, reveal it, put it into your hand, then shuffle your library. So we've gone from caring about flying creatures, and now we're going to lurch into like, oh, by the way, that we're going to care about auras as well, which is weird, but okay. It's like pick one. why are we splitting between 2? And then 2 Yoke Tox, which is just like another just big defensive creature. So sure. And like I get it, right? So you gotta have some defensive creatures where you build up stuff in the air to like fly over, and I guess, but I don't know. So then these are the auras that you can search up with Totem Guide Heartbeast. So a single murder investigation, 1 and a white. Enchant creature you control. When enchanted creature dies, you get X 1/1 white soldier creature tokens onto the battlefield, where X is its power. But you don't have a lot of creatures with high power, so like on most it's on average they're like 2 or 3 power. So this is kind of just a very delayed way of getting kind of like raise the alarm, which is like just have raise the alarm. I mean, it's nice obviously to have a death trigger. But yeah, I've never thought this card is like that good. Like I'd rather just have straight up just raise the alarm, or put this in like a deck that has like some sort of sacrifice effect, so you put it on a big creature, immediately pop it, and then get the tokens. I don't think it fits too well in here. And then we've got 2 suppression bonds, 3 and a white. Enchant non-land permanent. Enchant permanent can't attack or block, and its activated abilities can't be activated. So it's just a rest, but can go on any permanent, which is honestly pretty okay, because obviously you put this on stuff like artifacts or like planeswalkers, I guess. But yeah, it's okay. Most of the time, it's just kind of over expensive arrest, really. And then a single Stratus Walk, 1 in a blue. When it ends the battlefield, draw a card. Enchanted creature has flying, so at least you can give something else in your deck, something else you play flying. The enchanted creature can only block other creatures with flying, so it gives it high flying. But at least it's like a card draw. It's giving something else evasion, I guess. It's fine, I suppose. And then 2 Claustrophobia, 1 and double blue. When Claustrophobia enters the battlefield, tap enchanted creature, and it doesn't untap during its control's untap step. So the auras in here aren't really about making your stuff better. It's more about just locking down your opponent's creatures, which again is like an option with blue white. I suppose it's like which is more soft control options, isn't it? These kind of dehydration and like arrest effects. Then we've got single Celestial Flare, double white, target player sacrifices an attacking or blocking creature. This is okay, it's like an instant speed edict effect, I suppose. This is what we have in the block instead of in the set, even rather than like Divine Verdict, which is obviously like much more expensive, but at least you can target whatever whatever is attacking or blocking. But say this being a sacrifice effect means it can get around stuff like indestructible and regenerate and stuff like that. Yeah, it's fine. It's okay. I kind of wish there'd been more than one, but it is what it is. And then 2 Hydro Lash, 2 and a blue. Attacking creatures get -2, -0 on turn, and you draw a card. So a few ways actually here in this deck of stopping attacking creatures, because you got 2 of these, which lets you draw a card as well, which is okay. This kind of like mass shrink effect, and you had like the Nivix barrier as well, and you got a few like chunky blockers. So like the play, I mean, like the strategy does seem to be like stall out on the ground until you've drawn like the flyers you've got, the kind of honestly quite mediocre flyers. And then a single negate just to counter non-creature spells. A single turn to frog, 1 and a blue to turn something into a blue frog with base power and toughness 1 and make it lose all the abilities to learn 10. So this is basically like a removal spell, isn't it? It's just blue removal, because whatever you turn this is almost certainly going to die. And then 2 healing hands, 2 and a white. Target player gains 4 life and draw a card. At least it's like drawing a card as well. If it was just life gain, that would be tragic, but it's fine. It's drawing a card. It's okay. It's another non-creature spell to help out like Soulblade Jin, I suppose. It's fine. And then just like that, we're at the land. So a single Evolving Wilds, and then 14 islands and 10 plains. Can you tell I'm not like overjoyed about this deck? And like a part of it is my blue-white, like that I don't like blue-white. It's that bias coming through. But like this one just feels. It doesn't feel great, like. I don't know. So let's talk about the potential cards that we could have had in here. So I think Ring Warden Owl definitely should have been here. It has prowess, so it cares about all the non-creature spells, like all the soft control options you're throwing around, and it has flying, so it's something that's got flying, and it's going to get bigger as you cast spells. Like, why was this not in here? I don't understand. Blessed Spirits as well could have been in here, so it's like it's a 2/2 fly, so it's like Windrake stats, which is fine, and also has like this some synergy with casting enchantment spells, which you have a few of in here. If this had been here, like you probably should have doubled down, have a few more enchantments. But honestly, the enchantments in here are pretty much all that was in blue and white in the set anyway. So I don't know, but you could have had like some Blessed Spirits, just because I say it's another flyer. And I got really desperate here, like Goldforge Sentinel, 6 mana just for a 4/4 flyer. Like, yeah, it's boring, but like it's a big creature with flying. Like I feel like that's what the deck should be trying to do. I don't know. So yeah, I'm not really that impressed by this one. I don't know if I hate it. It's just I don't know. Like AlHamareth, I don't think is like that good of a foil face rare. I think it's just like its ability is like just kind of too niche and weird, and I don't know, just comes down like too late to matter, I suppose. I don't know. Yeah, so I've got a low opinion of this one. I don't know if I'd put it on in my bottom 5 of the set, because there are some real stinkers coming up. But yeah, yeah. Just I don't think it's that great, honestly. But what do you think? Someone who doesn't have the same blue-white bias as I do. If you've got any thoughts or stories or comments, opinions about the deck or any of the cards in it, stick a comment below. Do you think it's fine? Do you think it's actually got enough flyers? Am I just being dumb? Like, is AlHamareth's ability actually okay? Again, I'd love to hear people's like comments and insights into this kind of thing. But thankfully now done with this one, so we can move on and look at another Magic Origins intro pack in the next video. So thanks for watching and listening, and have a great day.